Better? Okay. So welcome again, and great presentation from Robin and Cosimo. I think you have a good dose of robotics already. So what I'm going to do is basically talk to you about how Fujitsu is playing in this world, not just robotics, but how we are bringing AI to life. And my focus will be generative AI. But before diving into all that, I just want to give a brief introduction about myself. My journey into robotics started 15, 16 years ago. So it's quite an interesting journey. That's why I'm bringing it here. So I had founded my startup, which was all about robotic education back in India, where I was teaching microcontroller programming and basic automation to school students, 14 years or less. That was my drive. And fast forward, I was in France, and I was doing in 2010, 2011. I wrote my first paper, which was on object detection and recognition based on PTZ pan-tilt zoom camera. And I was working on algorithms back then with MATLAB. And I never used the term AI or machine learning. And I think it was around same time that AlexNet came out and GPUs and all this deep learning. And I left that world. I went into IoT, I went into blockchain, I went into AI, and then into business. And back here, last year, I joined this role in Fujitsu as an evangelist, as a subject matter expert for our AI platform, which is called Kojuchi. I'll tell you what it means later on. So yeah, so life comes full circle, and I feel happy that I'm in a robotic conference after such a long time. So that being said, I don't want to give you the glimpse already. I wanted to talk about Fujitsu. And people think that Fujitsu, AC, and all this hardware, we have been there for almost 90 years. But in AI, we have not came out, just overnight. We have been there doing our work. We have thousands of patents. We have been working in the field of AI for more than 30 years. We have 7,000 cases of AI being deployed out there in the world. So I'm going to give you a glimpse of some of those. And my idea is to get into the basics, into what is behind robotics, what is behind inspection and maintenance, what is the theme of this conference. So if you see on the top left, you have Safety Sentinel. It's about a complex warehouse where you have the vision AI, that is our optical sensors, looking at different things that humans are doing, or even machines, and then they are able to detect any kind of safety or any kind of incidents that might not be the right incident. What I mean is about health and safety or any kind of hazards, and it can already give you triggers and alerts. So if you come down, same thing, I'm trying to decouple different components of AI as such. So right now we are seeing a job allocation problem, and you're talking to it. And if you're not living under the rock, generative AI has enabled us, and it has really lowered the barrier to entry. I will even say it has shattered the barrier. Anyone can talk to machines and now can solve real world problems. You are seeing a job allocation problem. A complex mathematical problem is now, just by talking to you, you can solve that, and that's what you see. And now if I combine those things, on the right side, you have top right, you have root cause resolver. So I have taken the vision AI, I have taken the generative AI, the large language model, and we are putting it, we have given it context, we have grounded it, and we are using our hyper-focused knowledge graph so that there are links between incidents, there is some kind of correlation, some kind of causality, and now you can talk to all those different incidents happening in the factory, on the factory floor, just by talking to it, or even you can go and take an image and you can just tell it what is happening here, can you tell me, and all those things. It will fetch all those information for you. It will do all those kind of reporting. We are doing a service with ServiceNow. We are doing a world tour. So next one is in Paris, where we'll be demonstrating this, how all this is connected with ServiceNow and how your incidents can be resolved in near real time. Then you have the last one, which is incident integrator. So I have taken all of these components. What we call here is composite AI, which is mixture of AI technologies, that is large language model, vision language model, some actions that you have to take, and combine all those things to create this kind of solution where you don't have to decide. The data comes from the data lake, the model comes from the model lake, and automation is also decided based on the problem that we are trying to solve. So if I have time, like, it will go there and it will choose, do you want to use, if it is a complex combinatorial problem, it will choose if you are going to use a digital annealer, for example. We have quantum inspired technologies, or it will go for a normal auto machine learning and it will propose you the top 3-4 algorithms that will solve your problem. So all this is happening automatically with just the prompt, just natural language. So that's the progress that we have made in the last 3 or 4 years. So what is at the heart of all this? Here is our robust AI platform, which is called Kojuchi. Kojuchi comes from the Japanese legend, which means magical hammer. So it is literally magical wish, fulfilling your wish of whatever AI solution that you want to create. And we are very much focused on multimodal generative AI. So whatever you have seen in the robotics world, it starts with perception. So you have to first see what is happening around you. So all those things that I was showing, you were talking to it. So it's text to text, text to video, text to audio. All those comes under the realms of multimodal generative AI. And then once you have that, I also showed you, because I wanted to show you first and then talk about what is going behind the scenes. Then there was a composite AI. So this is where it all orchestrates what model you need. You don't have to decide. Basically, based on the scenario, based on the world state, it will be able to understand, oh, you need to make, you contextualize everything. So knowledge graph, you need optimization model, you need some kind of a small language model. So all these things are done by a technology that we call composite AI. And then, of course, all this cannot be achieved without trustful and responsible AI. So we are very much into building trust technologies, and that's what you see. Everything is, I'll go further and I'll explain what trust technology means. But that is our AI platform. So if you see, we have 7 different flavors of it that I'll talk in the next slide. But ultimately, our vision is also towards regenerative enterprise. So if I am talking about Planet, we are doing a lot with, one example is Icelandic startup, where we are doing a lot of AI work, where we are using our HPC, high performance computing, to discover new catalyst candidates for green ammonia. For example, we are doing a lot of things on the lines of drug discovery. We have also created our own large language model, which is called Fugaku. Fugaku is our supercomputer. So we have our own Japanese large language model. We have partnered with a lot of different industry players like Cohere for enterprise grade generative AI applications. So a lot is going on, and you can also come, we will be here, you can come and already connect with our research portal, and you can taste some of these latest and greatest works that we have been doing right now. So 7 different AI domains so far that is available to the public, and we have a lot of solutions that I was showing to you already. So generative AI, as we all know, it's all about the multimodality. So image, video, anything that you want to do with that. And you saw already, so I'm not, you can relate to the demonstration that I saw, that I showed you, how generative AI is working in the back end. Then you have AutoML. So the fourth on the bottom right, you saw when I talked about composite AI, it was using AutoML, that is automatic machine learning, automated machine learning, where you don't have the data science capabilities. Then it will choose the right model based on your task, that is classification or regression. It will be able to do all those things without you knowing anything about AI, let's say. You can just prompt it, you can use your whatever spreadsheet, upload it. It will give you top 3 models, and you can just take it and deploy it as out of the box. Then you have for vision, and my focus today is all about vision and generative AI coming together in robotics. So hold on a bit, I will come to robotics. So I'm going broad, then I will come to robotics, then I will again go into the Fujitsu world and how we can help. So predictive analytics, of course, you have a large amount of data, you crunch those data, and then you can forecast something, or you can predict some kind of anomalies and all those things, which is, I think, quite clear. But with the advent of different kinds of data, and with the advent of generative AI, it becomes, again, much easier to talk to your data. That's what I can say. And trust, basically, we have implemented a lot of guardrails on how to mitigate, bias in the data, disinformation. We have our own anti-hallucination technology. We have anti-phishing URL technology, so that whatever output you are getting, you have to be sure that it is ethical, it is compliant. Then XAI is explainable AI. So we have deep tensor technology. We have patented technologies to explain you so that AI is not a black box. The output that you got, how you got there, that is part of explainable AI. And text, we have separated it because this is not multimodal. This is talking to all different kinds of text data, which was the first application of GPT. So we have that as an individual offering. So just to give you a glimpse, I'm not going to go into the details. It's not even 37 here. So every month we are coming out with new modules. These are some of the things, whether it is smart retail, smart factory, or you can think about healthcare. You can think about quantum-inspired integration optimization. We have a lot of different things that we have done with those 7 AI flavors that you saw. So I call it even an AI kitchen because you can create your own, food. We also call it the suite of tools because whatever problem you have, you can choose some of the tools and you can solve your problem. So just a glimpse. I wanted to focus on Actualizer, which is action analyzer. So what we have done is we want to strip everything down to the bare bone so that you can use it to solve your problem. So here we are solving the problem of behavior. So this is based on, we have trained the model, so it already recognizes hundreds of basic action. That means when you sit, when you bend, when you have an arm in a certain manner, you can take those actions and you can combine them to create a behavior. So you see a retail-related behavior, buying, not buying, hesitating, shoplifting. Then you have some kind of robbery. Then you have gymnastics. We did this in Paris Olympics for judges. They can judge well. Or even for coaching, you can think of a lot of different applications of this human behavior analytics, which can then also be extrapolated to robotics with the arms movement and all those things. So that is Actualizer, and we have went even further. This is just an example of, as I was saying, consumer behavior, operation process, suspicious behavior detection. You can do a lot of different things based on the actions that we already have programmed. And the next step was to really make it easy. So as a business owner, you don't have to deploy, you don't have to code the model or train the model. Here you have a no-code drag and drop tool, and you can just drag the actions that can lead to that behavior, and you can define those behavior. I have this month coming out with generative AI, so you can just prompt it and you can ask, I want this kind of behavior, and then you can talk to it and it will be able to do all those things without you dragging and dropping. And when you deploy it, it's very quick. You can deploy this kind of model and now you have a smartphone zombie. This is just a very simple example, but you can do all those different kind of behaviors with just few clicks. So this taken to factory floor in manufacturing, as I was showing you. So before, it takes a lot of time and effort. Datas are in silos. People are not talking to each other. There is miscommunication, and there is a lot of downtime to get to a decision process once something has happened on the factory floor. So now, once you are using Kojuchi with our Vision AI Actualizer, Action Analyzer integrated into your system with your ITSM tool and all those things, first, I talked about knowledge graph, so generative AI, and all this data, creating your knowledge base. Based on those knowledge base, if something is happening, it is already knowing because it has the relation, it has the nodes and entities as knowledge graph is known about. And then if it triggers, it knows exactly what to do and where it has happened and whom to report to. So your decision process is so fast, the downtime is less, and your service levels are going through the roof. So this is a real example of how we are doing it for workplace, for factories. You can imagine there are a lot of use cases that you can think from just analyzing behavior. Then this was the example, in the first that you saw that I prompted it that you want for the last 3 months, show the time and camera. So you can do it either by prompting. I cannot move ahead, but normally you can also choose this one and you can visually prompt it. So now it will, if we can wait, I don't know how much time is left, but if we wait, then you can choose this option, and then it will show you all the logs, and you can just click on one of the videos, and you take the video and you draw the bounding box, and you can ask questions on the bounding box. So it's, again, multimodality is there, and thanks to generative AI and the progress we have made so far. So I'll not go into a lot of details into this. You understand the context. So now, coming to generative AI and robotics. So now I've talked about a lot of different components. How can we use them in robotics? So simply putting it, it's not as simple as this, but if we want to think about generative AI and robotics, this is the robotic control loop. So first you have to understand the world state, perception, vision sensors, so your camera and stuff. Then once you know what is happening around you, you can take decision on it. So you can plan, and that is the part of language models, I guess. So now if you know what is happening, what you have to do, and then you take action. Very simply put, that is robotics, right? So what if I told you that we can replace this in the generative AI world with when you want to see something and you saw the vision AI. So we have what we call vision language model. So now you prompt your GPT-4o or any other model which is multimodal, you can give images and it can understand. You combine them with large language model. So first you have the vision, you know what is happening. Then you have the language model, which has the world knowledge. So it now knows how to take decisions. You can chunk it. You have heard about agentic AI, which is going to be the new hype. So you can think about creating different tasks and then taking action on those tasks. So that is code, and that is also possible. I don't know how many of you have tried, but even GPTs and all, they are trained. Llama 3 instruct model is something that has been trained on Python, other languages. So coding is also part of the realm of generative AI. So if you combine all those three, this is some research work that I wanted to share that is started with Socratic model, where argument and critiquing or dialoguing was the example, where you see language text to text, text to video, text to audio. So that is what's happening, that started. Then you have, I think you can see where the action, that is you are prompting it in natural language, and then you have the scene, that is the perception. And if it changes, it adapts again, it reasons with it, and then it takes action. So the great example is here from DeepMind, where you can just fine tune with your human feedback, just with hands thumbs up. It was able to understand without any coding, and it was deployed, and it was able to do high five just with your thumbs up and thumbs down. That is what fine tuning looks like right now. So this is all the advancements that we have been through right now with vision language model, with large language model, with code language model. And if I have to summarize, I just wanted to bring it so that you can think of robotics in generative AI world. So now if you combine, we have something called as OpenVLA. We have RT1, RT2, but OpenVLA is open source. That's why I'm taking its name, so that you can go and try it out. So basically, Open Vision Language Action Model. So now you have, if you heard about tokens, so you had the text token, now you have the image token, and you have the action token, coming together to create, robotics, let's say. They talk robots, and they can do a lot of different things. So that's what I mean, generative AI coming into the world of robotics and solving real world problems in terms of inspection or maintenance. And so what's the role of Fujitsu? So as you saw, we developed these components, and we also saw the problem, the confusion of the data set and customization, the models. So now you can figure out already that, okay, Aditya, you talked about composite AI, you have this, you have that. So that's what we have created, a framework where all these things can come together. You don't have to customize. You don't have to worry about the data. You don't have to worry about ethical and all those biases. We take care of that, and that is the 3-layered framework of generative AI enterprise framework, which is one of the first in the world. And how it works, very simply put, if you remember other example of the incident management, where you have plethora of different silos and data, you can see first we create those knowledge graph, hyper-focused knowledge graph. I will even say that it's like the Sherlock Holmes, because we literally have published a paper called Holmes, which is all about hyper-focused knowledge graph. That creates that context, that knowledge base, that grounding with real relationships. That on top, on the runtime, when you have data coming, then you have the choice of the model, and then you make sure that it is obeying every rule and law and AI Act or whatever that is. That's make a complete, reliable, and responsible AI solution. So I think, I don't know how much time I have. I saw that it was not a lot left. How much time is left? Yeah, so that's why. So I went a bit quick, but 30 years of experience of Fujitsu, I cannot put it in 20 minutes. But I wanted to give you a quick taste of it, let's say. So that's it, question and answers. And if you want to connect, I'd love to. And I would like to end on the note that we at Fujitsu, we have the raison d'etre. The purpose is to create trust in society through innovation. And I talked a lot about trust, so we believe in that. On that note, I'll thank everyone, and thanks for your attention. Thank you.